One day in the future, alien spaceships landed on Earth. In order to plunder human resources, they killed people wantonly, causing great suffering to people all over the world. However, humans did not give up. They would protect their homes even with stones. This spirit of resistance immediately boosted morale. However, the huge gap could not change the situation at all. A large number of soldiers turned into powder in the attack. At this moment, the captain looked at the battlefield in despair. The next second, he was also bombed, and his life and death were unknown. When the captain woke up from a coma and found himself in prison, severe pain suddenly came from his head. At this time, he completely lost his memory and even became curious about the electric current on the side. The next second, the whole room was short-circuited instantly, but he was unharmed. But he didn't think much about it. He just wanted to escape as soon as possible. He found a nail in a panic and dug hard along the cracks of the bricks. Soon he saw the light and looked out excitedly. The world outside made him despair on the spot. He could only shout desperately without knowing why. At this time, a woman's voice came from next door, reminding him that there were alien machines everywhere outside and the whole world had been occupied by them. At the same time, she persuaded the man not to shout, because humans in the end of the world might be more terrifying than robots. But the man ignored the persuasion and still looked out the window for help. As a result, a group of bandits came in a moment. The brutal means made the man shut up immediately. At this time, the bald head who led the group stared at Leah and asked his men to teach the talkative man a lesson. However, at the moment of opening the door, the man rushed forward. He lost his memory and fought with the bandits by instinct. The injured bandit swung the electric shotgun directly, but the man was unharmed after the current passed. Just as she was curious about this, the sound of mechanical collision came from the smoke-filled ruins, which scared the man to hide in the car quickly. Only through the rearview mirror could he see the alien's face. Fortunately, the robot had put eyesight and left after the investigation was fruitless. However, Leah was also in trouble at this moment. At the critical moment, she grabbed a brick and shouted at it, and then took the pistol and fired wildly. This scene happened to be seen by the man who was driven back, and he secretly praised her as a heroine. At this time, Leah found the subtitles on her clothes, and named her Glass. The two decided to go together, bring enough food, and go to the human base to seek shelter together. As a result, they met another group of bandits halfway. In the end of the world, they did not ask for money, but only for the food in the two cars. But when they saw the pattern on the man's arm, they instantly became alert, and the man took the opportunity to grab the opponent's pistol. After a burst of shooting, the remaining people hurriedly put down their weapons. At this time, Glass questioned the meaning of the other party's pattern, and the leader had to explain that it was the logo of the radar base. Many people suspected that the aliens were summoned by satellite signals, so they were hostile to soldiers with such symbols. At present, the man was more curious about his identity, so he stopped making trouble. The two immediately drove to the base with Leah, believing that they could find their memories there. As a result, they passed a village and were blocked by the power grid. Just as the two were looking for a solution, the alien mecha appeared in danger again from behind. Skria had to drive through by force, rushing all the way, and successfully avoided the pursuit, but the car still short-circuited and could not continue to start. Helplessly, the two had to get out of the car to avoid it, and at this time, a miserable cry came from a distance.